Hi, it's Loveable Lou, and I'm here with my water heater from hell. Oh, what a water heater. Anyway, I'll tell you what's happening with my water heater now. Okay, so the next part of this water tank saga, I have asked Home Depot to do the exchange on it because I tried to fix this leak here and no amount of Teflon tape and cleaning is getting that done. This pipe right here, so it's leaking all over the floor, and it's 12 years old. I know they're supposed to last like 30, but anyway, here's the killer. They have to, according to Ontario regulation, they have to change this pipe, because they said this pipe becomes brittle. Oh boy. It makes no sense, I know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You know, they want to change the pipe because the government says they have to change the pipe. Same two pipes that are on my furnace. Yeah, and the same pipes that are used in my sewer system. And he said, oh, it's because of the heat. Well, this never gets hot. I'm serious. Like, I can put my hand on this, it never gets hot. I said, well, my wife pours hot water when we do, spaghetti or whatever. It all pours down the drain, and what's going to happen then? So, anyway, they got to change that pipe as well. And here's the real killer. This pisses me off. I go to Home Depot. They said, oh, yeah, we can deal with this stuff like, well, we'll have a guy there tomorrow to estimate it, and then we could have it done by Saturday. So this guy's here and he goes, what are they talking about? Because he didn't get told to come here that soon, and and he's going, well, for me to work weekends, which I don't do, they'd pay me for that, but they're not gonna, so it's not gonna happen. That's how it's going. Anyway. Okay, so the saga continues. This is the old water heater. Tried everything I could to keep it alive, and I couldn't. And from the plumbers that I talked to, the experts, they said that had I emptied out the water every 6 months or a year, it would have lasted 20 years. So I'm thinking maybe, that rod dissolved, the magnesium rod, and then it starts to eat itself up if it doesn't eat that rod up. So it started leaking right around the intake of the cold water goes in, right on the top there. It started leaking. So my wife and I tried to get the old water tank upstairs, and well, she says 63, I'm 57, and there's no way we were getting this thing up the stairs. We tried so much. And it was hard enough for both of us to lift it up and bring it over here. And there's the box for the old one. So I'll show you the new water heater running. So you can see the concrete is still pretty moist because I had to go away for 2 weeks and we had to leave that dripping for 2 weeks. It was sad, but had to be done. Anyway, there's the new water tank. Really easy to install. If you know some stuff about plumbing. I know, just a side note, I did not show on this video how to install a water heater, and that was intentional. So as I went and talked to different people like pipe fitters and plumbers, and went online and checked out different people and how they do their installs, and people who call themselves masters, right? Like a master plumber or master pipe fitter. I don't know how you become a master, but they had contradictory methods to each other. So just as a quick example, the black exhaust pipe that I had to replace, I mean, it was good that they all believe in primer, but
the way I've always been taught to do that kind of plastic piping is to put the glue on both pipes, both the male and the female, and put them together, and that's good. But some guys don't do the male and female, some just do the female, some do the female and they need a twist, and oh gosh. So there's also rules depending on where you live. We're not in an earthquake zone, so if you're in an earthquake zone, I mean, the water tank's supposed to be strapped to a solid wall. You're supposed to use that flexible water piping and all that stuff. So we're not in an earthquake zone, and we don't have the same rules and laws that everybody else does. So just to keep in mind, that's why I didn't video us removing and installing the water heater, because these are things that, you know, I had to make conscious decisions about and figure out how am I going to do this that I'm comfortable with. Like at first I wasn't comfortable with replacing the black pipe. It made no sense to me how it would break down by itself, but then I saw mine had been broken for a long time, and why it wasn't spewing all kinds of fumes into the house, I don't know. So well, knowing all that now, right? So I put in the flexible piping. It was my decision. I've talked to plumbers and even the pros that wanted to install my water tank said no, I would never use the flexible. I would go straight in with a solid, and I wasn't comfortable with that because I see how much more. Um, it gives you more variety going with the flexible. So if I ever have to do anything with this tank again, I'll have some play, and having to deal with the soldered one when I had a leak was a nightmare. So I didn't want to go through that again. I didn't want to put that on anybody else. So if I sell my home and somebody else gets it, I don't want them to go through that nightmare if there's ever a problem. So I think this helps everybody. That's why I did all this stuff and why I didn't show any of it. You have to make your own decisions and do your homework and check your regulations and stuff like that. All right.
So I know this is the wrong tubing, and I'm going to replace it. But for now, I put it there. Um, I went away from connecting direct copper pipe. I'm using this flex, which is to me way more sense. Way more sense. It's easy to install and it's flexible, so if anything happens, we can change it up easy. Connecting the gas, I just happened to meet, and I don't believe anything happens by chance. I just happened to meet a gas fitter at the Home Depot I was in, and he gave me some advice on how to connect all this up. So I did take all of his advice, and I went out and bought the proper uh, compound for in the pipes. Anyway, and what I use to test all of this stuff, right, is I go to the dollar store and I buy the bubbles. You know, the kids like using the bubbles. I buy that and a brush, and then I just paint on all that bubble soap, because that bubble soap actually makes way bigger bubbles than even the stuff that you buy professionally to do this. Okay, and I've had made my own before using dish soap and starch, but that bubbles, I mean, it's $1, right? Dollar store, and it works so much better. It makes huge bubbles, so you can't miss anything. So I had no leaks. Everything seems to be working fine. I had a hard time um, getting my head around trying to screw this right to the water tank, and the old one it was, and I really had a hard time with that, so I'm just going to leave it in midair like that. It's secured to the ceiling just fine. When I got this tank, it was leaking really badly from around the output right there. And what had happened is Home Depot, whoever built this thing, didn't tighten their pipe in. So after I tightened their pipe in, the leak just stopped dead. So yeah, so the mission is to change this black pipe to the new white pipe. And the reason is because you see all these joints, like up here, there's a joint and there's a joint. So all these joints, the glue that they use for this, the glue breaks down. It's not the pipe. The glue gets brittle. And, it's just something my wife and I are not interested in putting our life in danger. So we're going to change that pipe out. So the thing that we learned about, water heaters is it's like anything, right? If you take care of your water heater, and it'll take care of you. And you have to respect that, right? So if you don't do anything, expect it to not last as long as it could. Now, I've not read a lot of good reviews on this, but the price was right. It was on sale, and they delivered it to the garage. And then my wife and I had to get this massive thing down the stairs and through the house, up the stairs, down the stairs, and everything else. But we did it, and we're not that young. Here, I'm gonna switch. I don't think I can switch the camera on this phone. It just won't let me. Too bad. But anyway, we're not. But we did it. My wife was pretty inventive. She came up with some straps that went over both our shoulders, crisscrossed underneath it, and we were able to use our legs to lift it, and we both walked it everywhere we needed to go, and kept it in the cardboard box and made sure the controller was at the top, and we slid it down the stairs. When we got down the stairs, we just cut it out of the box, and then we used those straps and walked it into place right here. And then first thing I did was connect the gas, and I made sure it was sealed really well. And then I did the water pipes, which this one here was the worst because there was a pipe here and there was solder. Oops, sorry. There was solder here, and I just had to keep sanding and brushing and sanding till all the solder was gone. Then this could slide on, connect well. Things that the builders didn't do was I put this pipe out of the way of all the pipes because they had this pipe leaned up against this pipe, right? So this was leaned up against this, and it was scratching into the plastic that connector right here, this wire bracket thing. It was this one. It was rubbing on the pipe. So I changed that. I secured that one too because there was no securing on it. So now it's more solid. Also, I took away that stupid gizmo that brings cool water in with the hot water. Like, I still can't get my head around that. Why I'm paying to heat up the water and then have it cooled by cold water is just insane to me. So I asked around, and what that is it's a thing the builder does to protect himself. Okay, so he can't get in trouble if somebody puts their kid in a scalding hot bathtub. Like, oh man, those people should just go to jail. All right, so anyway, this plumber who's done lots of water tank installs, he said, you know what, you don't need that. If you think that you're not that stupid, just take it out. So I took it out, and my wife and I we feel better about it because, we don't understand why we would heat the water up to have it cooled down. If the water's too freaking hot, there's a little adjustment down here. It's right there. I can just turn it down. And right now the water is so hot you can't leave your hand in it. So that's what we like because, when you wash clothes and you wash dishes, you want hot water. So you see it's not even up to like the highest, right? It's just hot A. So, like for instance, when we use the dishwasher, we let the water run until it's hot so that the dishwasher's electrical heating element doesn't kick in and start to heat up the water, because electricity is more expensive than this gas. So we always let the water run a little bit, get the water hot, and the same with the washing machine, right? So we always want this water. And when I fill my hot tub, I like soft water in my hot tub, and I always run the garden hose into the house, and I use the water from this tank to fill the hot tub, because this is plus, you know, you get to kind of like exchange the water in your tank too, right? But it's also a cheaper way to heat up the water. This water is heating up by gas, and we get to exchange the water. It's like a benefit all around. And I got soft water in the hot tub, because I do not subscribe to these people who want to sell me hot tub chemicals, right? So my hot tub, for the last over a year, has been a hot tub that we start with colloidal silver, and then we switch it over to hydrogen peroxide. So it's all no chemical, just a nice clean hot tub that gives you a nice soft skin. And when it's in hydrogen peroxide or even colloidal silver mode, it's really good if you got any cuts and stuff. Anyway, so that's it. That's my hot water heater from Hell. Changed, gone, and some people, we put on Kijiji, I guess the American equivalent is Craigslist. We put on out there for free, pick up an old water heater. I told them it leaks, and you know, it kicks out if you put it too hot. And sure enough, instead of paying somebody to get rid of it, they're going to come over and pick it up, and they're going to take it to the scrapyard and donate the money to a charity that they like. So this is good. You know, my wife and I tried very hard to get it to the curb, but we can't get it up the stairs, so they're probably going to do it. We had lots of good advice, like start taking the water heater apart. They said take the tap right off the bottom, and you'll see you'll get another gallon of water out of it. And you know, strip the whole thing down, they said, you know. But well, we got people that'll come and pick it up as is, so we're good. We're good. So hopefully this will give us many years of no problems. Hi there, YouTubers. I know there's some noise here. That's okay. So what I had to do now is that white pipe there used to be black, right? And this is the right stuff now. This is for venting. It's PVC piping, 2-inch, right? And I had to change it all of it right outside. Okay, and I'm gonna show you why the code changed. I was really against changing my pipe, but then when I was I felt some looseness in my black pipe. It was loose, and it looked like it was loose up at that top corner up here. It looked really loose up there, which is weird. So I'll show you what happened. Now they told me that all of these pipes were the wrong pipes, because they said that the glue around here, it gives out. Well, that's not what happened. So this crack, this had been broken for a long time. So it was just teetering right here at this little connect right here. It was teetering there, you can imagine, and it was cracked open for a long time. So I don't know how long like the exhaust had been coming in, right? So anyway, I can tell from the dirt all around the brake. Oops, where am I here? The dirt all around the brake, that it'd been a while. So that's pretty scary. Well, we've got carbon monoxide detectors all over this house. We've got 4 of them. So if there was any problems, it would have been picked up. But, you know, can you imagine? And so that's why the code changed. But they don't make everybody just change their pipes. If your water tank breaks, then you have to change your pipes. Alright, so that's why, right there. That's why there's the code. Because the heat, I guess, caused this to crack. And we didn't know it had been broken, because it had still been connected here at this corner. And anyway, it's all changed now. I've got a new pipe, and this one here is no more. But you know what? The same thing happened to us on one of our sewer pipes. Same thing happened to ours. And right from the tub upstairs, same thing broke, just exploded like this, and it just totally soaked the kitchen and the basement and everything. It was just a mess, and they had to rip the whole kitchen apart to repair the ceiling and fix the plumbing and all that stuff. So that's why this stuff here is just garbage, and I'm so glad they replaced it. But I still think somebody needs to go to jail for coming up with this kind of stupidity. You know, how many people had to die that we didn't even hear about before they changed the code, and didn't even put a sense of urgency in it. Like they said, okay, everybody who has theirs now can keep it going, but how many years did this break happen for me before, you know, my hot water tank broke? Like, if it had never broke, how long would I have been going like this? Scary thought, eh? Sorry for not shaving. You know, it's the weekend, and I don't like shaving on the weekend. But the water tank from Hell was really cool because we had some people come pick it up. Imagine that. People will come and take your water tank away for free. So they came. We managed to move the water tank over to the side. And my wife did a great job. I mean, she just invented these straps. Oh, I won't show you the straps, but she invented these straps that went over her shoulders, that crisscrossed underneath the tank. And then we could lift the tank with our legs and not our back, and we carried the tank around wherever we wanted to go. Couldn't handle the stairs. Going down was different. Going up, we couldn't do it. So these guys here had the right equipment. Came, picked up the old tank. It's gone. Yeah, and I give them a tip. I was so freaking happy to see it gone. And they're like, no, we don't want any money. We don't need any money. We're gonna, you know. And I'm like, it doesn't freaking matter, man. You have no idea how happy I am. This is great. So me and my new water tank right there, loving it. Yeah, so happy now. But you know, people will do it for free, so why not? And they just turned it into a scrapyard, and they said they're going to donate the money to their charity, which is great. And they said they do this all the time, so I'm happy. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe, and bye for now.